In the beginning of the drama, we see our male lead Hong, who wakes up in the morning and is getting ready to go to school. On the other hand, we see our female lead, a cute girl named Yoonmei. Yoonmei was very pretty to look at, but she was quite simple-minded, meaning a little naive. Anyway, today was her first day at school, so she quickly got ready and headed to school. On the way, she bought coffee from a shop. Seeing a boy wearing a school uniform, Yoonmei moves forward to talk to him, but accidentally, her foot slips and the coffee in her hand spills on another boy. Seeing this, Yoonmei immediately goes up to the boy and apologizes. But that boy was very rude. Instead of forgiving her, he gets very angry and says, "Get out of my way." Saying this, the boy leaves from there. Meanwhile, our hero Hong also walks past Yoonmei without saying anything, with a lot of attitude. Actually, Hong was completely opposite to Yoonmei. That is, he was handsome to look at, but very hot-tempered. After this, we are shown a classroom scene. The class teacher comes and tells everyone that a new student has transferred to their school today and asks them all to meet her. Saying this, the teacher calls the student inside the classroom. Then we see that it is none other than Miss Yoonmei. She starts introducing herself. Just then, a certificate hanging on the wall falls down. Yoonmei picks it up. Then the teacher says, "Give this to the class monitor and go sit with him." And the class monitor was Hong. When Yoonmei sees Hong, she remembers, "Oh, he's the same rude boy I saw at the bus stop, but he has so much arrogance." Then she gives the certificate to Hong and sits next to him. But her luck was very bad, because her seat was broken from underneath. As soon as she sits, she falls down. The funny thing here is that Hong already knew about this, but still he didn't tell Yoonmei anything. All the students in the class start making fun of Yoonmei. Then Yoonmei goes and sits next to someone else. That girl tells Yoonmei, "Our monitor may look angry, but from inside he's a very soft boy." Anyway, after this we see that the head teacher asks Yoonmei to log in her information into the computer because her ID card had to be made. Just then, a boy enters the head teacher's room and tries to steal a novel. But in his hurry, a robot made by Hong falls from his hands and breaks. Seeing this, the boy immediately runs away. On the other side, hearing the noise, Yoonmei comes into that room. But by then it is already too late. She doesn't see anyone there, so the teacher punishes Yoonmei. But Yoonmei says, "I didn't do this. Someone else did it." Still, the teacher doesn't listen to her. Anyway, the next day a girl tells Yoonmei, "You clean the class today instead of me." Poor Yoonmei can't refuse that girl and cleans the classroom herself with a broom. After cleaning the classroom, Yoonmei is writing an application in a notebook. Just then, Hong comes there and says, "Why are you writing in my notebook?" Now, after looking carefully, Yoonmei understands that it was actually Hong's notebook. She had mistakenly written in Hong's notebook because her notebook looked exactly the same. Because of this, she says sorry to Hong. Hearing this, Hong says, "Why are you so stupid?" Yoonmei says, "What are you saying? What did I do?" Here, the two of them argue for a while. Anyway, the next day Yoonmei finds out from Hong that the robot that day was broken by some other boy who studies in their own class. Hearing this, Yoonmei gets very angry and asks that boy, "Did you do all this?" The boy, being scared, admits everything and also apologizes to Yoonmei, and our kind-hearted Yoonmei forgives him as well. Then, Yoonmei looks at Hong and thinks that she had considered Hong to be very hot-tempered, but actually he isn't that hot-tempered. Then Hong says to Yoonmei, "You saw that boy running away, so why didn't you recognize him?" Yoonmei says, "I didn't see him." Hong says, "Will you ever see? You're such a fool." Over these conversations, they start having sweet little arguments. In this way, a few days pass. Then exams are held at school. When the result comes, Yoonmei gets only 38 marks. Seeing these marks, Yoonmei says to the teacher, "This can't be my result." But the teacher doesn't believe her. Instead, she scolds her for getting such low marks. The next day, after seeing the exam paper, Yoonmei understands that it is not her exam paper. Then she remembers that in the exam hall, in a hurry, she had forgotten to write her name. So she starts saying to herself, "I don't even know how stupid I am." Then she tells the teacher about this. But when luck is bad, whatever has to happen, happens. Even after telling the teacher, nothing helps. So she says to herself, "Why is my luck always so bad? Why does this always happen to me?" Then at night, secretly, she comes to the teacher's room. Hong also comes there behind her. Seeing him, Yoonmei says, I want to see my exam paper so that I can find out whose paper was exchanged with mine. Please help me. And yes, don't call me stupid again. Hong says, okay. Then Yoonmei tries to enter through the window. But the very next moment, she sees that Hong has the key to the room and Hong is opening the door and going inside. Seeing this, Yoonmei says, why should I work so hard to enter through the window? I'll also go in through the door. Saying this, she also enters through the door. Then both of them go inside. Finally, Yoonmei finds out who had written their name on her exam paper. Just then, the security guard enters the room. Seeing this, both of them hide. Then, as soon as they get a chance, they run away from there. In the next scene, it is shown that both of them go to their respective homes. Here, after reaching home, Hong looks at one of his diaries and starts thinking, why do I feel like I already know Yoonmei from before? Then he starts looking through his old diary. Through a flashback, we find out that in childhood, a girl was his best friend. Thinking about those good moments, Hong smiles. On the other side, we see Yoonmei. She lives with her grandmother because her parents have gone abroad for work. But Yoonmei takes very good care of her grandmother, and her grandmother also loves her very much. The next day, Yoonmei asks Hwan, why did you write your name on my exam paper? Hwan says, no, I didn't do that. You have no proof that I wrote my name on your paper. Then Yoonmei says, I'll go and tell the teacher everything. Then the whole truth will come out. Yoonmei is just about to tell the teacher everything, but Hwan was standing in front of the teacher. The teacher was scolding her a lot because her result was not good. Seeing all this, Yoonmei leaves without meeting the teacher. The next day, after class ends, Hwan meets Yoonmei and says, my father will punish me if my result is bad. So please forget everything. Hearing this, Yoonmei becomes worried. Whatever it was, that girl was her classmate. I live with my grandmother, but she is very sick, so she also cannot come. Then the teacher says, have you seen your result? Your result is very poor. So, one of your relatives must come to the meeting. Meanwhile, a girl reminds Hong, you have to buy a gift for your parent. Hearing this, Yoonmei says, I also want to go with you. Then both of them go to a super shop. After coming there, Yoonmei buys many kinds of food items. Seeing this, Hong says, are you going to have a party? We don't need all this. We need to buy a gift card. Saying this, he buys a gift card. After finishing the shopping, they come back to class again. Just then, a girl asks Yoonmei to put up a poster on the wall. Yoonmei agrees and goes to put the poster on the wall. But just then, she is about to slip and fall down. Before that, Hong comes and catches her. Because of this, a romantic situation is created, and both of them keep looking at each other. After school ends, when Yoonmei is going home, Hong comes there and says, do you need a lift? Yoonmei says, no, there's no need. I can go alone. But Yoonmei looked a little worried. Seeing which Hong says, I feel like you're very worried. Are you thinking about the parents' meeting? Yoonmei says, how do you know? Hong says, I heard what you were saying. Yoonmei says, actually, my family is not here, and my grandmother also can't come. Because of this, I'm very tense. Hearing this, Hong says, don't worry at all. I'll take care of everything. Yoonmei says, really? You can solve this? If you can do this, it would be very good. You are really a very good monitor. Hong says, that's enough. Now be quiet. You've talked a lot. The next day, everyone comes to the meeting with their parents. Then Hong brings his mother with him. Because of this, Yoonmei is also saved. After the meeting ends, she looks very happy because her parents didn't have to come. Just then, her friend says, Hong's mother is a judge and his father is a professor. That's why he is so intelligent. And I've heard that yesterday you were hanging onto Hong's hand. Did he help you, or is something else going on between you? Tell me. Hearing this, Yoonmei gets shy, but without saying anything, she leaves from there. After school time is over, she says to Hong, come, let's drink juice together. But Hong says, you drink it yourself. Yoonmei says, okay, fine. Saying this, both of them start drinking the drinks together, and Yoonmei says, I'm very thirsty. I'll drink both myself. Hong says, leave all this talk, now let's go. Then both of them start walking together. But since Hong had helped her, Yoonmei brings Hong to her home that day and introduces him to her grandmother. Here, her grandmother says to Hong, you both should try to sit in the front of the class because Yoonmei has a problem with her eye. Hearing this, Yoonmei says, Grandma, I sit in the right place and now there is no problem with my eye. Anyway, then Hong wants to leave, but Grandma tells him to have dinner with them today. Hong says, no, it will get late. I'll come some other day to eat. Then Yoonmei says, if you leave now without eating, my grandmother will never let you go from here. Because of this, Hong has to stay. Then Yoonmei shows Hong her room. Just then, Grandma calls Yoonmei, so Yoonmei goes to her grandmother. At that moment, Hong is about to see one of Yoonmei's childhood photos. But before that, Yoonmei comes back with the food, because of which he is not able to see the photo. Then while they are eating, the food turns out to be very spicy for Hong. So he gestures to Yoonmei asking for water. But the innocent Yoonmei thinks that maybe food is stuck in Hong's throat. So she quickly stands up and starts punching Hong's back again and starts shaking him from behind so that all the food comes out. Just imagine the situation. Then Yoonmei says, "Wait, I'll try something else." Just then, Hong takes the water and says, "This is what I wanted, and what are you doing all this for?" Yoonmei says, "You didn't tell me earlier. I thought something was stuck in your throat." Hong says, "That's enough. Now I'm going." Saying this, he leaves from there. After Hong leaves, Yoonmei thinks to herself, "How stupid I am. Why couldn't I understand that the food was too spicy for him?" The next day, the teacher tells everyone that a festival will be held at the school, so some students will have to participate, and now it will be decided who among them will participate. Then we see that Yoonmei is also selected. Because of this, she has to go for rehearsal. When everyone is rehearsing, Yoonmei keeps forgetting her own lines again and again. Seeing this, all the people present their say, "If we rehearse like this, it will take us a whole year." Then Hong says to Yoonmei, "You come tomorrow after practicing properly by yourself." Yoonmei says, "I already told you not to take me. I won't be able to do all this." Then Hong says, "Fine, then don't come here from tomorrow." Saying many more things to Yoonmei, he leaves. Poor Yoonmei feels very sad after hearing Hong's words. She says to herself, "Hong, why do you always do this to me? You are a very bad monitor." Anyway, the next day when Yoonmei is coming to school, a boy accidentally bumps into her while playing basketball. Because of this, Yoonmei falls into water. Just then, the second lead of our drama, Kang, is passing by this road. Kang gets down from his bicycle and pulls Yoonmei out of the water. Yoonmei thanks him for this. Then they tell each other their names. Here we understand that Kang wants to be friends with Yoonmei because they study in the same school. Later, when Yoonmei is eating at a restaurant with her friend, Kang sees Yoonmei crying. But because the food was very spicy, water was coming out of Yoonmei's eye. Kang thinks that Yoonmei is sad and that's why she is crying. Anyway, at night, Yoonmei keeps talking to herself alone. She says, "Hong, why do you do this to me? I don't make mistakes on purpose." Then we see that Yoonmei stays awake the whole night trying to memorize her lines so that she doesn't make any mistake the next day. The next day, after coming to class, Yoonmei starts ignoring Hong because Hong had scolded her a lot during rehearsal that day. Even after class ends, Yoonmei doesn't talk to Hong. Then Hong says to Yoonmei, "If you're not participating, then give my script to someone else." Yoonmei says, "Did this donkey say that I won't participate? I will definitely participate." Then we see everyone rehearsing. Yoonmei gives Hong a Coca-Cola. Just then, a classmate says to Hong, "If you're not drinking the Coca-Cola, can you give it to me?" But Hong doesn't give the Coca-Cola to his classmate. The next day during class, Yoonmei falls asleep in class. After waking up after a while, Hong says, "Stupid girl, why are you sleeping like this in class? Don't you know that you can't do two things at the same time?" He was talking about sleeping and studying. In reply, Yoonmei says, "Smart boy, instead of always finding my mistake, do your own work properly." Then we see that when Yoonmei is rehearsing, Hong is secretly watching her. But Yoonmei catches him. Now Hong says, "I was leaving from here. Come, let's go together." Yoonmei says, "No, I forgot to bring my coat." Hearing this, Hong says, "Why don't you forget yourself too?" Then he puts his coat on Yoonmei and says, "That day I said too much to you. Don't mind it. I just wanted you to do well." Yoonmei says, "Are you apologizing to me?" But Hong doesn't answer her question. Then both of them come together to the bus stop. Here, Yoonmei thanks Hong. Today, she was very happy with Hong's behavior. Then we are shown the next day. Today Yoonmei was a little nervous, but she controls herself. Anyway, today she had to play the role of a village girl. After the acting starts, she performs very well. But her luck really was very bad because while acting, her shoe accidentally falls near Kang. Because of this, Yoonmei feels very upset. Even after the performance ends, Yoonmei looks very sad. She apologizes to everyone because she understands that she made a very big mistake, because of which they might lose. When she is leaving, Kang comes and gives her shoe back. Meanwhile, other students start saying, "Look, look, that's the same girl whose shoe flew in the air." Hearing their words, Yoonmei feels even worse. After some time, Hong comes to her. Yoonmei says, "I worked very hard. Still, I messed it up. I tried so hard not to make any mistake, but I still made one. What should I do?" Then Hong places his hand on her head and says, "Whatever the result may be, you performed very well. So don't be sad now." Just then, one of Hong's classmates calls him and says, "Congratulations to all of you, especially to Yoonmei, because Yoonmei has received the Best Popular Acting Award." Hearing this news, Hong says to Yoonmei, "Hey, silly girl, stop crying now. We have won and you've received the Best Actress Award." Hearing this, Yoonmei becomes very happy and starts dancing with joy. Anyway, later at night, Yoonmei sits and thinks, if only I could meet my childhood best friend today. How nice it would be. Where have you gone? Don't you miss me even a little? On the other side, Hong was in the same condition. He was also missing his best friend a lot. The next day, we see that Kong was a bit of a mischievous boy. He used to blackmail everyone and get his homework done. When Yoonmei is inside the library, Kong follows her, comes up to her, and says, "You're the same girl who hit me with a shoe, right?" Yoonmei says, "Not here, come. Let's talk about this outside." But Kong says, "I'll tell everyone." Yoonmei says, "What do you want from me?" Kong says, "Nothing like that. You just do my homework, that's all." And now Yoonmei is forced to agree. The next day, Kong comes and takes his homework notebook from Yoonmei. But seeing all this, Hong doesn't like it at all. Because of this, he also leaves the class. Then at night, we see Hong looking very worried. Actually, he absolutely doesn't want anyone else to come close to Yoonmei and talk to her, which from this, we can understand that Hong is slowly starting to like Yoonmei. That's why he doesn't want any other boy to come close to her. On the other hand, Kong is also trying to become Yoonmei's friend. Then a girl from the class asks Yoonmei, "Who was that handsome boy with you?" Hearing this, Hong gets even angrier and leaves from there. That night, Hong makes a birthday card with his own hands to wish his friend a happy birthday. On the other side, Hong is checking Yoonmei's social media profile and thinking whether he should send her a friend request or not. After thinking a lot, for the first time in his life, Hong sends a friend request to a girl. The next day, Yoonmei says to Hong, "Can I borrow your homework?" Hong says, "If you don't have time to do your own homework, why do you do others' homework? Don't you have any sense?" Yoonmei says, "Please give me your homework, otherwise I'll get punished." After she requests many times, Hong finally gives her his homework. Then one day, Yoonmei finds out that Kong doesn't just make her do homework, but also makes other girls do his homework. Hearing this, Yoonmei goes to meet Kong. There she sees that Kong is already in the head teacher's office. That means the teacher already knew that he used to get homework done by others. Anyway, Kong comes to Yoonmei and says, "What was the need to write in such beautiful handwriting? Because of you, I got caught today." Yoonmei says, "That's absolutely right." Then during class, Yoonmei goes to give a birthday card to her friend. But the teacher sees her and gets very angry and tells Yoonmei that he wants to meet her parents. Yoonmei tries a lot to explain to the teacher, but it's no use. Seeing the situation getting worse, Hong stands up and takes all the blame on himself and says, "Sir, the card was mine." Because of this, Yoonmei is saved, though Hong is given a small punishment. Later, Yoonmei's friend says to her, "Did you see how Hong came like a hero and saved you?" Yoonmei says, "Yes, truly. Hong is a very kind-hearted boy. He always helps me." Hong was again listening to their conversation. Then we come to know that there will be a sports event at school. Before jumping, Kong says loudly to Yoonmei, "If I win, I'll drink juice with you." Hearing this, Hong becomes very angry inside, and both of them start looking at each other like enemies. Kong jumps 503 meters. Seeing this, Yoonmei says, "Wow, no one can do better than Kong." Hearing this, Hong says, "I can do even better than this." Yoonmei says, "Really? Can you actually do it? If you can, I'll cheer for you loudly by taking your name in front of everyone." Then Hong jumps 504 meters, that is 1 meter more than Kang, and wins. Yoonmei says to Kong, "You lost," and Hong won. Days keep passing like this. One day, Yoonmei gets injured in chemistry class. Seeing this, Hong quickly comes and treats her well. Yoonmei feels very good seeing this and becomes very happy from inside. Then all the students go on a trip. There, Yoonmei is secretly taking Hong's pictures, but a classmate notices this and starts shouting loudly, "Look, look, Yoonmei is taking the monitor's pictures." Hearing this, Hong comes to Yoonmei and snatches the phone from her. But instead of throwing it away, he takes a selfie with Yoonmei. Seeing this, Yoonmei says, "I thought you would throw my phone into the water." Hong says, "I'm not that bad. Do you think so badly about me?" Yoonmei says, No, it's nothing like that." Then both of them keep talking and laughing. Seeing them talking happily, Kong again feels a little sad. Then they all go towards the mountain. Suddenly, Yoonmei slips and is about to fall down the mountain. Seeing this, Hong stretches out his hand but suddenly stops. Through a flashback, we find out that a similar accident had happened with Hong's sister in childhood, and at that time Hong couldn't stop her from falling. Remembering all this, Hong freezes completely. The story returns to the present, and we see that Kong comes at the right time and saves Yoonmei. Kong says to Hong, "How can you be so careless? What would have happened if she had fallen?" But Hong doesn't reply to Kong. He just says sorry to Yoonmei and quietly leaves from there. Later, during the trip, Yoonmei and Hong spend a very good time together. Hong behaves very nicely with Yoonmei. In this way, A good friendship develops between them, and both of them are very happy. Slowly, their friendship becomes deeper. A few more months pass like this. Now it was time for the school's final exam. Everyone was very worried about their results, because if the result was good, they could get admission to a good university. Yoonmei was very worried about all this. She was sitting sadly when Hong comes and explains things to her and motivates her. Then Hong tells Yoonmei that he will teach her every day so that her result comes out good. Hearing this, Yoonmei agrees and becomes very happy from inside. One day, while studying, it becomes night. Hong says to Yoonmei, "I'll drop you home." As they walk together, we understand that they are coming closer and have started liking each other. Yoonmei was very happy about everything because Hong was helping her with her studies and was no longer behaving badly with her. Because of this, she thanks Hong. That night, Hong sees a very scary dream. Through this, we find out that during childhood, while playing, Hong's sister had fallen down a mountain and got injured. He still hadn't been able to forget this and still blames himself for it. The next day, one of Yoonmei's classmates again gives her the task of putting up a poster, but this time, Hong comes to help her. However, when he is about to put up the poster, he remembers that childhood accident again, and everything starts flashing in front of his eye. Because of this, he loses his balance. Seeing this, Yoonmei brings him down and asks, "Are you afraid of heights?" Hong says, "Yes, a little." Then Yoonmei puts the poster on the wall, puts up the poster while Hong holds her leg so that she doesn't fall. In this way, their friendship was slowly turning into love. Then we see Hong's parents explaining to him and saying, "Forget whatever has happened. Don't blame yourself. This will be good for you." That night, Hong starts looking through Yoonmei's notebook. While reading it, he remembers that his sister had introduced him to Yoonmei. From then on, Yoonmei became his best friend. To confirm whether that childhood best friend was really Yoonmei or not, Hong calls Yoonmei and asks to meet her. In a hurry, he goes to meet Yoonmei. Now you might be thinking that if Yoonmei was Hong's childhood best friend, then why was there no contact between them? Actually, because of Hong's parents' job, they had moved to another city. That's why there was no contact between them, and because of this, they were unable to recognize each other now. Anyway, Hong reaches Yoonmei in a hurry. Here, Yoonmei takes Hong to her secret place and says, "Whenever I feel sad, I come and sit here." Yoonmei also says to Hong, "Please tell me about the person you still haven't been able to forget." Hong says, "I won't be able to tell you that." Yoonmei says, "Then how are we friends if we can't tell each other anything?" "Okay, wait, I'll tell you some of my secrets. After listening to me, you tell me yours." Hong agrees to this. Then Yoonmei says, "When I was 7 years old, I had a problem with my eyes. At that time, a girl named Jia was my best friend, and she donated her eye cornea, because of which my operation was successful and I was able to see the world again. Also, her brother gifted me a necklace, which I still have." When Hong sees that necklace, he becomes completely sure that Yoonmei is his childhood best friend. Then Yoonmei says, "Now you tell me your secret." Hong says, "I am afraid of heights. The reason for this is that one day my sister slipped from a high mountain and fell down. She already had a heart problem. So because of the fall, her condition became even worse, due to which she died. And I feel that accident happened because of me. Besides this, I still haven't been able to forget my sister." Hearing Hong's words, Yoonmei thinks that maybe his sister was his childhood best friend. Meanwhile, the summer vacations begin. After the summer vacation, when the school opens, Yoonmei is very excited because she will meet Hong after a long time. On the other hand, Hong comes and says to Yoonmei, "You've already become much fatter than before." Hearing this, Yoonmei starts asking everyone, "Have I really become fat?" They say, "Even if you've become fat, it's okay, because you look very cute." Then we see that a new student transfers from another class into their class, and that student is none other than Kong. He comes and sits in the class, says hi to Yoonmei, and sits right behind her. Yoonmei says, "Why have you come here again?" Kong replies, "It's a surprise." After class ends, Kong comes to Yoonmei and gives her a joke. Book. Yoonmei says, "No, I don't want this, because in return you might again make me do your homework. So keep your book with yourself." Kong laughs and says, "Oh no, there's nothing like that. You keep this. I don't want anything in return." Just then, Hong sees the two of them talking and he doesn't like it at all. The next day, Yoonmei and Kang are again talking together. Seeing them talking like this, Hong feels very jealous. After Kang leaves, Hong takes the joke book and says to Yoonmei, I teach you, so anything that will harm your studies, I'll take it away from you. Yoonmei says, I've fired you from this job. Give me my book back. Hong says, no, we have a 1-year agreement. Even if you want to, you can't fire me from teaching you. So quietly solve the book. Yoonmei has no other option, so she starts reading. While reading, she gets completely tired. At night, Hong comes home feeling very happy because he didn't let Yoonmei read Kang's book at all. Earlier, Hong and Yoonmei used to go together till the bus stop, but with time, everything changes. Now Kang also goes with them. Then we see that both boys say goodbye to Yoonmei. Here, Kang tries to talk to Hong, but Hong ignores him with attitude and leaves. The next day, when Yoonmei is sitting in class, Kang keeps throwing paper at her again and again. Seeing this, Yoonmei asks him, what happened to you? Kang says, nothing happened. Come, let's play a game. Hong was burning with jealousy. On the other side, Yoonmei and Kang start playing the game. But after a while, Hong loses his patience, throws the paper back at Kang, and says, this is a class, not a place to play game. Then he says to Yoonmei, stupid. Play games with me. It will increase your intelligence. Why are you playing kids' game? Hearing these taunts, Kang also feels bad, but the poor guy can't do anything because Yoonmei is sitting with Hong. Seeing Yoonmei and Hong playing together, Kang also feels jealous. Then Yoonmei says to Hong, today it's my responsibility to clean the class. Help me. Hong says, I won't be able to help you because I have to go to another class. Saying this, Hong leaves from there. On the other side, Yoonmei starts dancing while cleaning the classroom. Meanwhile, as Hong is leaving, he sees Yoonmei dancing like that. So he stops and starts watching her dance and really enjoys it. But suddenly, while dancing, Yoonmei falls down. Seeing this, Hong quickly comes forward and reaches out his hand toward her. Yoonmei keeps looking at Hong and then says, when did you come? Did you see my dance? If you did, tell me, how was my dancing? Hong says, it felt like a crazy girl was jumping around for no reason. Hearing this, Yoonmei feels very sad. Anyway, then both of them go together. Yoonmei tries to get Hong to return her joking item, but Hong doesn't agree. The next day, the classroom light gets damaged. When the teacher comes and switches on the light, it bursts and pieces of glass start falling down. Seeing this, Hong tries to protect Yoonmei, but the button of his shirt gets stuck in Yoonmei's hair, because of which Hong feels embarrassed and leaves from there. However, while leaving, the button stuck in Yoonmei's hair falls down. This incident makes Yoonmei feel very embarrassed, but she carefully keeps Hong's button with her. Actually, keeping something that belongs to the person you love is also a form of love. The feeling of it is completely different. What do you all say? And how many of you have kept a gift or something from your loved one carefully? Don't forget to tell me in the comments. Anyway, after coming home, Yoonmei keeps looking at Hong's button and blushes happily again and again. The next day, a classmate comes to Hong and says that Jin has returned from abroad. Hearing this news, Hong leaves the class to meet Jin. Seeing this, Yoonmei asks her classmate, whose name did you just take? The boy tells her, don't you know? This girl is the monitor's best friend. Hearing this, Yoonmei becomes quite sad and thinks, why didn't I know this? Then we see that Hong doesn't attend the next class either. Seeing this, Yoonmei becomes very restless. Just then, her classmate tells her he must definitely be with Jin. Hearing this, Yoonmei goes out of the class with one of her friends, and after a short while, she sees Hong with that girl. When Hong comes back to class, Yoonmei asks him, who is that girl? Hong says, her name is Jin. She also used to study in this class, but she got transferred and went abroad. Now she has returned. After this, Jin comes to the next class. She comes and talks to Hong and also gives him a gift. Then the two of them start talking. Poor Yoonmei is watching everything and feeling jealous. Just then, Kang comes and says to Yoonmei, come, let's also go outside, but Yoonmei refuses. After a while, Yoonmei's patience runs out. Because of this, she says to Jin, hey listen, this is my seat. When Jin leaves from there, Yoonmei asks Hong, do you know this girl well? Hong says, yes, Jin is my neighbor. But why are you asking me all this? Yoonmei lies and says, just like that. At night, we see Yoonmei very worried and sad. She can't sleep properly and stays awake the whole night. Because of this, she falls asleep in class the next day. When the teacher sees her sleeping, she scolds Yoonmei a lot and says, you solve this problem yourself and show me. But before Yoonmei can do anything, Jin solves the problem. Because of this, the teacher gets even angrier at Yoonmei. Anyway, then an inter-school knowledge competition is about to start. Yoonmei wants to participate in it with Hong because if they win the competition, they will get 2 tickets from a 5-star hotel. The next day, the teacher announces, Hong and Jin will represent our school. Hearing this, Yoonmei's friend says to the teacher, ma'am, This girl also wants to participate. Hearing this, the teacher says, okay, then first we'll conduct a selection quiz for both of them. Whoever wins will go ahead. Hearing this, Yoonmei becomes happy because now she has a chance. After class ends, Yoonmei says to Hong, I heard that you are organizing everything, so will you tell me the questions that will be asked? Hong says, I don't know everything, but I'm copying a few questions for you. Take a look at these. Yoonmei says, thank you. You're very nice. Just then, her friend says, stupid. In the quiz there will be 500 questions. These are just a few. What will you even do with these? Hearing this, Yoonmei says to Hong, go and return my drinks to me. For just these few questions, I won't give you drink. But Hong is no less mischievous. He says, why should I return them? You already gave them to me. Anyway, Yoonmei didn't want to lose to Jin at any cost. Because of this, she kept working hard day and night so that she could go with Hong. And today was the competition day. Here, Jin and Yoonmei were face to face and Hong was hosting the competition. He starts asking questions to both of them. At first, Yoonmei performs well, but in the middle, she gets stuck. However, at the very end, both of them have equal points, and by answering the last question, Yoonmei wins. Because Jin loses, she feels very sad, because she also wanted to go with Hong. After class ends, Hong asks Yoonmei, why do you want to go to the competition? Yoonmei says, just to increase my brain power. Just then, her friend standing nearby says, this girl wants to have lunch with you. Hearing this, Hong laughs. Yoonmei gets embarrassed and says, actually, I've never eaten in a 5-star hotel. That's why I wanted to go. Later that night, when Yoonmei goes to sleep, she gets lost in deep dreams. She dreams that after winning the competition, both of them go together to a 5-star hotel and enjoy a romantic dinner. Then the day of the competition arrives, and Yoonmei and Hong are very excited about it. The host starts asking questions. At the beginning of the quiz, the points of all teams are almost the same. Both teams she was playing very well. Just one wrong answer and it would all be over. Hong and Yoonmei give the last answer and win the competition. Because of this, both of them are very happy. Then they receive 2 tickets, but Yoonmei's luck was really bad. She loses both tickets to go to that 5-star hotel. Because of this, she starts searching everywhere but cannot find them. Meanwhile, Hong asks her, what happened to you? But Yoonmei doesn't tell him anything. The next day, after school is over, when Hong comes home, his father tells him, tomorrow we all will go to the 5-star hotel for lunch. Hearing this, Hong remembers that Yoonmei had been searching for something in class for a long time. She must have lost those 5-star hotel tickets. Otherwise, she would have made many plans with him regarding it. Because of this, he tells his father, if you don't mind, I want to take a friend of mine with me. His father says, okay. The next day, Hong meets Yoonmei. Here, Yoonmei is in a very bad mood. She sadly tells Hong, sorry, I have lost the ticket. Hearing this, Hong looks around here and there and says, come here. The tickets are right here. Yoonmei had no idea that Hong had already kept those tickets. Now, whatever happens, before going to the 5-star hotel, we see Yoonmei very happy. She comes wearing a very beautiful dress, and both of them go to the restaurant together. However, Yoonmei had thought that it might be a romantic dinner, but nothing like that happened. There was only a calm atmosphere and delicious food. The next day, before school, the exam results arrive. Yoonmei has improved a lot. Because of this, Hong tells her, stop reading storybooks and you could be in the top 10. Then the teacher comes and announces that seat changes will now happen according to the results. Because of this, Jin's seat is next to Hong. Yoonmei's seat is next to one of her friends. Now, Yoonmei absolutely cannot tolerate Jin being next to Hong because she has fallen in love with him. So she decides to tell Hong about her feeling. While she is walking near the class, she sees Hong with Jin. Here, Jin tells Hong, we have been childhood friends. I always wanted us to stay together. Yoonmei sees both of them together and becomes very sad. Her heart breaks. Because of this, without revealing her feeling, she leaves crying. The next morning in class, Yoonmei looks very sad. Then Hong comes and says, you gave the wrong answer to this question. Shall I help you? Yoonmei says, no need. I will fix it myself. Seeing Yoonmei speak like this, Hong wonders why Yoonmei is ignoring him. Is she suspicious of me regarding some topic? Thinking all this, Hong asks Yoonmei, are you thinking something bad about me? Just then, from behind, Kong says to Hong, what are you doing here? Yoonmei lies to Hong, I'm not thinking anything about you. Saying this, she takes Kang away from there, leaving Hong very sad. Anyway, in the next class, Kong and Yoonmei keep talking together. After class ends, Yoonmei comes to Hong and says, give me back my storybook. Hong says, what will you do to me? And why are you ignoring me like this? With Kong, you are laughing and talking fine. Yoonmei then says, I will do whatever I wish. It's my personal matter. What's it to you? This upsets Hong again, and he leaves. The next day, the teacher calls Yoonmei and says, "Your result is not as good as before. When you used to sit with the monitor, your result was much better." Hearing this, Yoonmei becomes very sad. Then Kong comes and asks Yoonmei, "Are you free during this week's holiday?" Yoonmei says, "Yes, but why?" Kong says, "I will come to pick you up on the holiday." Then on Saturday, Kong comes to Yoonmei's house, picks her up, and they spend the whole day together very happily. At night, when they are returning home, Hong is waiting outside Yoonmei's house. He sees the two of them together. Then when Yoonmei goes inside her house, Hong and Kong face each other. Here Hong says to Kong, "Yoonmei's result has become very bad. Let her study." Kong says, "You care about her so much, but don't you know that she was upset, so I took her out?" Hearing this, Hong becomes very worried. He thinks about why Yoonmei is upset and why she is not talking to him. The next day, Jin tells Hong, "The exams will start very soon. Will you take the exam?" Hong says, "Yes, we will take the exam together." Yoonmei overhears their conversation. Then she asks Kang, "Why is this BMT exam held?" Kong says, "As far as I know, this exam is for admission to BDS University." Hearing this, Yoonmei's mood becomes very bad because it means she will go far away from her love. That university is in Abrin, very far from their city. On her way home, Yoonmei is walking very sadly. She sits somewhere and thinks, "Will we never meet again?" The next day, when she is eating in the school canteen, her friend comes and says, "We should say goodbye to our monitor, because he will soon pass the traces." Meanwhile, Kong tells Hong, "Let's have one last competition." Hong says, "Sure, it will happen." Then they start playing basketball. During the game, Hong gets slightly injured. Yoonmei wants to go to him, but before that, Jin comes back to Hong again. Seeing this, Yoonmei does not go near him. She runs to the school doctor and says, "Please give me some medicine. My friend is in a lot of pain." But the doctor does not give him any medicine. In the hurry, his head hits the wall, and he also feels a lot of pain. Still, she goes outside, she goes to the shop, buys the medicine, and places it on Hong's table. When Hong sees the medicines on his table, he immediately understands that Yoonmei has placed them there. Because of this, he goes to Yoonmei and thanks her. Then he notices the marks on Yoonmei's head and asks, "What happened to your head?" Yoonmei replies, "Nothing serious. Just a little pain." Hong thanks her again for giving him the medicine. However, they can't talk much because the class starts at that moment. The next day, suddenly it starts raining. After a while, Kong brings Yoonmei outside. Hong also follows them, but Yoonmei doesn't realize this. Kong and Yoonmei enjoy the rain together. When Yoonmei boards the bus, she sees Hong through the window. This is where the misunderstanding begins because Yoonmei thinks Hong might like Jin, while Hong thinks Yoonmei might like Kang. But the truth is that both of them are thinking wrongly. Due to this misunderstanding, the distance between them grows. That night, Hong calls Yoonmei and says, "I will take the exam quickly and then go abroad. Can you meet me now?" Yoonmei asks, "Where shall we meet?" Hong replies, "I will wait outside the bookstore." After the call, Yoonmei quickly leaves the house, but it is raining heavily outside. She waits outside the bookstore for Hong for a long time. Meanwhile, Hong is also waiting for Yoonmei outside another bookstore, but Yoonmei's phone runs out of charge, so she cannot call Hong. Hong keeps trying to call her, but her phone is off. Despite the heavy rain, Yoonmei continues waiting for Hong. Hong thinks to himself, "Yoonmei is standing in front of the bookstore near our school." Thinking this, he runs toward that bookstore. When he arrives, Yoonmei is no longer there because she had left in the meantime. Because of this, they couldn't meet. The next day, Yoonmei worries a lot about Hong, so she messages him, "I wish you top the whole class." Hong reads Yoonmei's message and feels very happy, although his health is poor because he got wet in the rain. He can't meet Yoonmei but misses her deeply. Yoonmei keeps talking to herself, thinking, "Why does it feel like Hong won't be here? No, what am I thinking? That will never happen." The next day, Kong is walking with Yoonmei and asks, "Do you like someone?" Yoonmei replies, "Yes." Kong asks, "Is that boy Hong?" Yoonmei says, "Yes, I love Hong very much." Hearing this, Kang's heart breaks because he also liked Yoonmei. On the other hand, if Hong passes the test, he will have to go far away from Yoonmei. Thinking about this, Yoonmei becomes very sad. During the test, Hong keeps looking at a sticker and thinks he does not want to go far from Yoonmei under any circumstances, so he decides that he will fail the test. He starts erasing all the answers he had given to ensure he failed. In the next scene, Yoonmei thinks that if Hong passes the test, he might go to England. Before going, she should give Hong a gift, so she goes to the shop to buy a gift. After buying the gift, Yoonmei and her friends organize a small event so that Yoonmei and Hong can share a memorable moment for the last time. Hong is specially invited along with other friends. Hong arrives at the event and surprises Yoonmei. Yoonmei thinks to herself, I have to make this moment memorable. Who knows if we will meet again. Everyone enjoys the party together. Hong even sings a song, and Yoonmei remembers the good times spent with him. After the party ends, she gives Hong the gift and wishes him the best of luck. But she didn't know that Hong was not going anywhere. Hong explains, "What you are thinking about me and Jin is completely wrong. Jin is just a classmate, nothing more." This clears all their misunderstandings. Then Yoonmei goes home and thinks only about Hong. She feels so restless because of him that she even falls off the bed, but even after falling, she keeps laughing because the girl is now deeply immersed in the ocean of love. The next day, Yoonmei comes to class and feels very sad when she does not see Hong. She keeps sitting sadly and keeps looking toward Hong's bench, missing him. She starts thinking that maybe Hong has gone to England. However, after a short while, Hong enters the classroom. Seeing Hong, the teacher asks him, "Didn't you go abroad?" Hong replies, "No, I didn't pass the test." When Yoonmei sees Hong, she feels happier than anyone else. Then both of them look at each other and give a soft smile. In her heart, Yoonmei says, "My wish has been fulfilled. My love has come back to me. My dream has come true." After Hong returns, Yoonmei receives another piece of good news. They will once again sit together on the same bench so that Yoonmei's poor results can improve. While leaving the class, Kong asks Yoonmei through a note, "Shall we go to the library after class ends?" She replies, "I will come." Hong wants to stop her from spending time with Kang, so he intervenes and Yoonmei refuses to go with Kang. This makes Kong very sad. Then the school exams begin. All the students start writing in their answer sheet. However, one student is cheating and the paper he was using falls near Kang's feet. The teacher notices this and unfortunately, Kong gets accused of cheating. Kong tries to explain to the teacher, "I didn't do anything, and if I had, I would have had the courage to admit it." But no one believes him. Feeling very upset, he leaves the school. Yoonmei tries very hard to stop him but fails. For the next 3 days, Kong does not come to school. Yoonmei is confident that he did not cheat, so she seeks Hong's help. Together with their friends, they plan to check the security camera room. This proves Kang's innocence, and the school management apologizes to him. Hong and Yoonmei go to convince Kong to come back to school, but Kong initially refuses. Yoonmei challenges him to a race. Whoever stops first loses, and if she wins, Kang must return to school. They start running, and eventually, Kong gives up, admitting defeat. He comes back to school, accepts everything, befriends Hong and Yoonmei, and everything in the class returns to normal. All the students then prepare for their final exams, studying day and night for weeks. On exam day, they perform well. On the last day of school, everyone enjoys themselves, and when the results are announced, all the students get good marks. Yoonmei feels confident that she and Hong will attend university together. Meanwhile, Hong's mother scolds him for not going abroad. Hong listens quietly. Yoonmei, overhearing this, wonders why Hong stayed and whether it was for her. Later, seeing Hong's wallet, Yoonmei realizes that Hong is actually her childhood best friend. Knowing the truth, Yoonmei's respect for Hong grows even more. Finally, Yoonmei asks Hong, "Why did you hide the truth from me? Why didn't you tell me everything?" Hong replies, "I didn't want you to be sad after hearing about my sister." At last, Yoonmei expresses her feelings to Hong, and he reciprocates because they had been in love with each other for a long time, but hadn't confessed. Their pure love story reaches a happy ending in this drama. If you enjoyed the drama, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell icon, leave a sweet comment, and like the video.